Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Make It a Great Week, where we start off each Monday morning with a strong cup of coffee and a positive conversation. I'm your host, Justin.
And I'm Opa. Let's make it a great week.
Well, last weekend, my brother Nathan came in town from Charleston, and he took me and my brother to Hall's Chop House.
Halls. Hall's
Yes.
Chapel. Yes, yeah.
I'd never been there before. It was very generous of him. He paid
Downtown
for
Greenville.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Valet parking.
That's
Took us out to a
pretty swanky place, isn't it?
very, very, yes. Yeah. So it was really nice.
What did you get?
I got duck. It was good.
Duck.
Yep.
Interesting choice.
Braised duck. You always get steak at those type of places.
Yeah.
I'd go with braised duck, but it was delicious.
Wow.
We're heading towards 6 months of podcasting pretty
No
soon.
way.
Yeah.
Can it be? Wow.
Yeah.
This was just a figment in your imagination.
I know.
And then all of a sudden, here it is, fruition almost 6 months later.
Yeah, we've been going strong, and we're going to keep going strong every Monday morning. I did have a question for you, though. I was thinking, we've talked about your past jobs in our past podcast episodes, but I had two questions for you in relation to it. So the first one is, what was the hardest job to leave, whether through by choice or if the choice was forced upon you? But what was...
Like being fired?
I wasn't going to say that.
Yeah, that terminated. Yeah.
It's happened to all of us, but I'm saying, what was the one where you really missed it and you wish you didn't have to go, or you knew that you had to, but it was a very hard decision? What was the job that, you missed the most?
Good question, because I would have to say that whenever I left some place, and I've left many, okay, it's not been like, oh, my one job in my, I left that. I've left many jobs. I would say that it always has been, I'm trying to think back, but it's always has been, you knew it was time to leave for whatever reason. And I'm just going to use a biblical illustration. I think it was Elijah. What was it? After the killing of the prophets. I don't know the timeline totally, but anyway, God told him to go be by himself out by this brook. I don't know what the name of the brook was.
Kidron?
I think it was Brook Kidron. Kidron, something like that. And he could drink water from the creek, and the ravens were going to feed him. Well, the ravens kept feeding him, and he kept there. I don't know how long it was, but you know what happened after a while? It says the brook dried up, and then God, what am I going to do now? I need water. You need water more than you need food, actually. So then that's when God said, I've prepared a widow for you to go, and then there's the rest of the story about that. That was beautiful. However, the point I'm trying to get to, is that the brook dried up. And there's times in your life, and that's when I came across that and said, you know what? I felt like I was doing the right thing coming here, because you have this consternation. I'm sick and tired of leaving I'm sick and tired of learning curves, because I had all the learning. Every time you go anywhere else, you got this learning curve. It's the culture of even where am I going to park? Where do I go to park when I come here in the morning? You got all that kind of learning curve, plus the management, plus all your responsibilities. And you got this learning curve, and you think, okay, before you leave, you say, "Oh my goodness!" And should I leave? And then, do I want to go somewhere else and do all that again? And you feel you go through all this in your mind. You say, "Okay, God," you say that if any man lacks wisdom, ask of God, and He will give it. It's a promise. He will give it to you. So I said, "Okay, I'm asking for this wisdom, and I'm thinking this is the right direction. I don't think I'm doing it out of guile. I don't think I'm doing it for selfish reasons because I want to, climb the I think that this is just going to be right for my family. That's a selfish thought, but you know, uh, that be as it may, I think I'm doing the right thing here. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so then you move, and then all of a sudden the brook dries up after a few years or whatever. The brook dries up, and you think, okay, it's time to move on. And that's the way I've always had it happen. And so I I never left someplace. I don't think that it was a point where I did not think it was the right time to leave
Mm-hmm.
and look back. I guess I didn't never look back and say I shouldn't have or I don't, and I do, I put it in that through that perspective of the brook drying up. And so if you ever have any situation like that in life and you say, you got to be introspective and look at it and see, am I doing it for spiritual reasons or something? What am I doing this for? Why am I thinking about leaving? And if everything checks off, say no, no, no. I mean, I think I'm doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just chalk it up to God. The brook is dried up. Now, God didn't need to have that. Did not need to let that brook dry up.
Mm-hmm.
But then what does Elijah go do? And he goes blesses this widow, and that's another beautiful story. But so to answer your question, sorry, it's a long answer.
I like this. I really set you off here with a simple question.
Yeah, it's there's never been a job, I think anyway, without doing a lot. You spring these questions on me.
Well, I'm gonna adjust my question, which
Yeah.
I'm prone to do when
Yeah.
you dance around it. Okay.
Yeah.
So my tangential question would be, in retrospect, what job do you think you had it the best after leaving?
Yeah.
That was the one that you missed the most, that you had the most fun doing,
Again, that question was asked to me by one. I was interviewing for another position one time, and they say, "What job did you like the best?" And I thought, let me think about this because you put me on the spot. And this honestly was the job I liked the best was the job I was currently in.
Hmm.
I mean, because I always, and maybe it's because of a positive attitude, and that's because of the many not podcasts at the time, cassette tapes. And I know I'm dating myself here because I said cassette tapes, but cassette tapes. Listening to many cassette tapes on from Earl Nightingale. Dennis Waitley, Brian Tracy, and my favorite of all times, Jim Rohn. Anybody out there who wants the good, positive motivation, business philosopher extraordinary, Jim Rohn, Rohn. Anything you can get your hands on. He's passed away, but he's by far, in my opinion, the best business philosopher out there. Anyway, listening to all that, I just got involved in my job and wanted it, and was really thankful that I had something to be able to provide for the family. And I didn't care how long it took or how many hours I had to put in, but I really got involved in it. And so, and maybe this is God-given thing for men. They like to work, typically, supposedly. If you don't like to work, then maybe that's a sin. But I think most men like to get in and get a job done. And sometimes that's with hands, sometimes that's with their brain, like you, in accounting work. But don't you like to work?
I do.
I mean, it's something that if you stay idle too long, you're saying, yeah, you start twiddling your thumbs.
Yeah, and actually, Lil and I have talked about this, where you realize that even on days you're home, sometimes it's good to go out and, in my line of work, do something with my hands, work in the yard.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, you stop to look at it so much as work and more as, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is good for me.
Yeah.
It helps you settle down. It helps you, just the the other day over the weekend, I just had like 1,000 different things going through my head of all the things I wanted to do.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, oh, I gotta do this, all this needs to get done. And then I looked out my backyard and I was like, I'm just gonna rake up some of these acorns that are
Yeah,
making hard for my kids to walk in the
yeah,
back.
yeah,
And I raked up for like 10 minutes, and bagged a little bit of it. And then afterwards I was like, okay,
yeah.
I don't need to do anything else right
Yeah,
now.
I'm done. I'm done.
I've
Yeah,
done
yeah,
something.
yeah.
We're making progress.
And I was in the conversation that was handled in the living room over here, the front room, the uh, what do they call it in Downton? The drawing room, or
No, no,
what do they call that? Um, where they all
let's
go.
go through. Don't they just say let's go through?
I don't know. Well, I mean, where they all sit around and talk. There, everybody was sitting
The
out here.
sitting room?
The sitting room, maybe, yeah. And everybody's sitting around talking Sunday after lunch, which is a great. I just love it.
Yeah.
It's just wonderful to be able to do that. Anyway, I digress. It was, I think it was Lily talking about, how much paternity leave did you get?
Yeah.
How much did you get for your son? Like 3 weeks? Or
No,
so?
for my son, I got 5 weeks.
5 weeks. She said,
And then it's gone up now.
really? That's the French people. Oui. Thank you, French people.
Merci.
Yeah, merci. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. We teaching how to speak French on the podcast. Look at this.
You get the paternity leave, but you have to take 6 weeks of French class while you're off.
You speak French fluently by the time you're done. But you got paid for that too?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. She said that you were kind of getting a little anxious at the end.
Hey.
I mean, that hey, I wanted.
Well, part of the
That's-
reason,
again,
part
go
of
ahead.
the problem was I should have been intentionally exercising, which I wasn't at the time. I think that was probably
Raking
70
acorns.
Yeah, 75% of the problem was that I should have been getting up every morning and exercising. So, given another opportunity like that, I think that I had never not worked that long in my life, not since I had started
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
So even through college, post college, I didn't take a break. I went straight to work, and in between classes, I was working all summer.
Yeah.
So I'd never had that much time of not having a job to do.
Yeah. To answer your question, what was your question?
Okay, we're gonna abandon question number one.
Okay,
Question
no.
number two is, what was the easiest job to leave? What was the job that on the way out, you said the brook has dried up, and then you just walked out.
Again, it was I never left on. Well, I did get fired 4 times in my life, so but I always again the brook dried up, and so I liked every job I was in, and but when the brook dried up, it was like time to move on.
Yeah.
And even though you have wife and kids, you're thinking, okay, what am I going to do now, Lord? You just leave it in the Lord's hands. You just say, God, your will be done. I'm in this country. I know that there's going to be other opportunities out here, and I was never beholden to a company thinking, that, oh man, I'm gonna if I no, you can't fire me, please. I can't leave. I never was that way, just because I guess it's the faith in the Lord that He's going to take care of me and mine, and that's the way I approached it. And so there was never a job that I was good riddance. Thank you very much. So again, to answer your question, I always liked the jobs I was on. And doing the work, I never feared losing one of them, and there was never a good riddance. I just felt like the brook dried up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe we can all take that into our jobs, and when it feels like there's no longer a stream at work, maybe it's time to leave. Although we're not giving people advice to quit their jobs.
Yeah, I mean, but sometimes that if you're fretting over it, and you just got to ask God, is this brook being dried up, God? And that's what you just got to look at and you think, maybe it's time. I don't know. And then you got to ask, you got to pray for wisdom. And what does God say? If any man lacks wisdom, let him ask of God.
Yeah.
Who giveth liberally and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. well, I'm going to take God at his word.
Yeah.
He's the one who put the stars in the sky and all this kind of stuff. So he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. It's
I can
true.
trust in him.
It's
I can
true.
trust in him. So anyway, thank you for that. I needed to get that off my chest.
Sounds like it. I like it. I was gonna say you've done this podcast so much that you would kill any interviews. You've practiced. I mean, there's nothing that could be unexpected at this point. If they ask you a question like that, you'd say, "Let me just pull up my podcast
Yeah,
to answer
go
this
to episode number
fully."
22 or whatever.
All right, are you ready for mini game?
Mini game.
Okay, this one's gonna be a little bit shorter than before. That's okay.
Yeah.
All right, can you tell me what the three most populous states in the United States are from 1 to 3?
New York, California, Florida.
No.
Florida, California, New York. No, I'm saying New York's got to be number one. No, they don't have.
Florida and California are in the top 3, yes. It is not New York, though. New York is number 4. So there's one more big state that is in the top 3.
Well, it has to be Texas then.
Correct.
Okay, so it's got to be Florida, Texas, and California?
It is actually California, Texas, and Florida.
Really?
Yep. That's it. California this is from 2025 data. California coming in at 39 million, Texas 31 million, and Florida 23 million.
Huh. Very good. All right. Well,
you're close. All right. Now, top 3 cities in the U.S. by population.
New York City.
Yep.
Los Angeles, Houston.
Okay, New York and Los Angeles are 1 and 2. Houston is number 4.
Dallas, Fort Worth.
No, it's
Chicago. How
Yes.
could I not sing Chicago? Yes.
Yep, correct. Chicago. New York's at 8.5 million.
I am
Los Angeles 3.8.
Wow, I'm so disappointed in myself. After watching Chicago Med, Chicago Police, PD, and Chicago Fire.
We discuss how populous they were in this.
Yeah, well,
Show.
I mean, you get 3 shows named after you. That's pretty popular.
I've never been to Chicago.
You've never been to Chicago?
No.
Wow.
Or Los Angeles, for that matter. I've been to New York. But...
Okay. Yeah, you need to go to Chicago. Chicago's nice, but you got to stay out of certain places, just like most places.
Yeah.
But it really is a nice city, I got to admit. Having been born and raised 80 miles southwest.
And you've been back there pretty recently, right?
I
think we've discussed on the show you went to a Wrigley Field game.
Yeah, we sure did a couple years ago. But let's see, yeah, it's been a couple years, but it was fun. We had a good time, really good time up there. But now, this is a timely human interest story.
Okay.
Because our beloved senior senator here in South Carolina lost, just dropped dead over the weekend. Just boop. Which, if that doesn't give people pause about my life is in God's hands.
Yeah.
I don't think anything would. But anyway, here he is. Both of his parents died. Lindsey Graham's parents died. And what he ended up doing was taking legal guardianship of his sister, who has now been appointed. I don't know if you saw that. She was appointed to fulfill the remainder of his term, which is only a few months. But I think that was very appropriate, and they do that. It's not like it's uncommon.
I hadn't heard of that before.
Yeah. But he was her legal guardian, and then adopted her, legally adopted her when I think he was 22 or something in the Air Force, very young, but he legally adopted her so that she could get his benefits as a serviceman, and he's been in the service for many years. So, as much as I didn't like everything about Lindsey Graham, he did have some good qualities. One of which being that's pretty nice and impressive that you would go, and because I think it's just him. It was just him and her. I mean, but he was the older brother. He steps up, becomes legal guardian of his sister, and then adopts her in a few years after that, so that she could get his serviceman benefits. And so I just thought that was just a beautiful human interest story where here this man is taking care of his younger sister, quote unquote, family.
Yeah.
And we're all about family, here on this podcast.
Well, and taking responsibility.
Yes, exactly right.
Like what he was doing, even as a young person. And I do feel like it can be sometimes difficult, especially in your teens and 20s, to take responsibility. And it's definitely a heavy weight to bear at times. But and it can be easy to delay it,
Right.
I'll do that in a couple of years from now. I'm still young.
Right.
But maybe that could be our challenge for the week, to say, take responsibility in what you have going on right now. Whatever is yours, own it and make it thrive. And if there are people around you that are your responsibility, also make them thrive.
Yeah.
And that's what we can all, aim to do better, is say that this is something that I can help with. This is something that I can make better. This is something that I have the power to help flourish. As obviously he was trying to do with his sister.
Yeah, and that's if I always look at these things like if there's somebody in need that I have come across, for whatever reason, I come across their path, or God brings them across my path for whatever reason, I try to be very conscious of the fact, and basically kind of like through the Holy Spirit, trying to have the right be the right conduit that the Holy Spirit can work through me to be able to say, okay, for some reason this person's been brought across my path, and let's see how I can be of assistance, or how I can help them if God has blessed me in that regard. Because it's very hard to bless someone when from your position of poverty. It's extremely hard to do that. But if I have the means to be able to help somebody, then, and God brings them across my path, then I think I cannot turn a blind eye. Very similar to, the scripture's so good about these things, like the Good Samaritan, type thing. That whole scenario there, that's a beautiful story. And that Good Samaritan did what went above and beyond, but he saw somebody in need and did what was supposed to be done. And God, I know that's just a parable, but it's a good parable to base your life actions on. And if you do that, guess what? You can help somebody make it a great week.
Make it a great week with Joy King.